Alrighty YouTube, it's your boy Zxous and we're back with another Goddess of Victory Nikke video. And in today's video, this is going to be very interesting because this is actually something we've done before, but it's a kind of a twist. So we've done a video where I would go over you guys, well, my community specifically, my community's hot takes for Nikke. Now this is so funny because these are hot takes from literally like the beginning of the game. So I want to see how much of these hot takes ended up like, I guess, just still being hot take, or like ended up being true, or something that, like, you know, just didn't last well or anything like that, right? So make sure you guys subscribe and like. Obviously they still have no skills for you know, the near collab, so this is more of literally just a fun video day, obviously with my summon reactions and now this. But this is gonna be interesting. I'm so curious to see what people said during the beginning of the game, because I was playing Nikke on release, right? Ever since from release to now I've played Nikke, so let's see what people say. So as the game is a few weeks old already, but most people are stuck on their day one beliefs, it's a good time to let your hot takes known before the first character bug fix patch goes live. Here are some of mine. Ludmilla is overrated. It's clear by now that what truly matters is as much firepower as possible. Ludmilla overrated. Okay, so if you guys don't remember, if you don't know actually, on Pride Win, Ludmilla on the tier list was an SSS character. So they only had 3 characters in the SSS tier, right? And those 3 characters were Scarlet, Litter, and Ludmilla. This was all before the bugs and stuff like this. So I think this is actually with the bugs, right? Literally. So Ludmilla was an SSS character. It was only 3 of them at the time. So that's probably why they're saying Ludmilla is overrated. The thing is, after Nikke fixed the bug on Pride Win themselves, they pushed Ludmilla like down here, I believe in the C or D tier. This was before the insane revamp to the tier list. Of course, it would usually just be like A, S, or S, A, S, 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 no, S, 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 right? Then S, S, then S, then A, B, C, D, and so on. That's when they just had solo tiers and like overall, right? They didn't have like late boss PvP and stuff like that. But Ludmilla, after her patch fix, she ended up ending like here in the C or D tier. So that was very funny to see. But now obviously Ludmilla has gotten better in just general content, especially like with all the other characters that actually help her out a lot, right? Tanky enemies such as bosses either deal AoE damage that can't be tanked individually, or their damage output is too low for the tank to matter. Ludmilla's tanking ability is good, but when she brings little to no actual DPS increase to the team, she certainly excludes from all top tier comps. Also, team-wide heal and shield provides better protection than a tank does. This is true. Team-wide heals and shields, only because of how shields work in this game, are just better than general like tanking, right? For example, I would rather have, if I wanted to tank, let's say a specific damage that like the boss is gonna do, like an insane blow, I would want to use Senti and her shield that will just nullify the damage regardless, rather than using someone like Ludmilla who's just gonna like take the damage head on and get hit, right? Honestly. So that's, you know, this hot take was, you know, pretty, you know, accurate, and it wasn't, and it was, right? I do agree, maybe early on Ludmilla was overrated, and that's just because we were ranking her based on a bug. But once they fixed her, people finally realized that she wasn't all that crazy. She dropped down in tiers for a lot of tier lists, not only Pride Win, but of course Pride Win was the main tier list, and stuff like that. But then again, like as this person, you know, says here, shields and heals are just better overall. So from the jump of the game, and Senti was at the beginning of the game, right? A lot of these characters, Rapunzel, all the top, like a lot of the top 10 characters now were in the game at the beginning, right? Scarlet, Alice, Rapunzel, Privity, Senti, a lot of these characters were already in the game on release. So you had access to all these characters, right? And that's their first hot take. Second, leeching off of point 1, the shields in the game are vastly underrated. That is true, or it was true, that it was underrated. That's only because people did not know how the shield worked completely, right? They didn't know how the shield worked completely, honestly. It takes some skill to develop them at the right time, which of course isn't attractive in an ideal game, in an idle game. But the fact that they also absorb all overkill damage is insane. All right, and that goes back to Senti, right? So of course, just general shield and healing is better than a character who can taunt with damage reduction, in my opinion. I think a character that's healing your team, right, like Rapunzel, or a character that's giving you a shield for your entire team consistently, like Senti or Blanc, is much better than having a tank with damage reduction like Nero and Ludmilla. That's what I think nowadays, of course, right? But back then, of course, I thought Ludmilla was the character I wanted to go for, right? For sure. Why wouldn't I? She was bugged. I believe her bugged was that, like, you would literally take no damage when you enter the full burst. There was something crazy. It was something so crazy that just made her insane. But yeah, this is it was a hot take back then. Not really, because people just didn't understand it yet. Like, people didn't really like realize it yet. So technically it was a hot take, but you know, people now understand. Getting characters to 200 is possible as free to play, obviously, as you can get 60 crystals within the first month if we include, okay, okay, well, this part was just kind of like a given, right? If we generally thought that we were never gonna, like, free to plays in general, right? It depends on what you mean, right? If you guys just thought free to plays would never get to level 200, then that would be insane. But obviously, it's a different story if you think that free to plays were gonna get to 100 within the first, or 200 within the first month or 2 months, right? Obviously, if you're free to play, you're limited rather than a person who's spending money. That's just common sense in almost every gacha game, if not every gacha game. So that we're just gonna ignore that. That's just a take that probably should have never even been said. Game's good, they shouldn't have hot takes, but I go on gacha gaming, it sure is. Remember, if people disagree, then your takes are truly fire. Okay, let's see. So these are some older takes from other people as well. It's more worth it to get gems and modes from events because this is a gacha game. Using up gacha currency to get more resources to hit the wall faster makes no sense. Enjoy the slow grind. Honestly, this is a take that is still actually like relevant today, right? Obviously, if you're a new player, trying your best to get characters and using everything you have for resources and new characters just to get to the 160 wall faster just doesn't make much sense, right? There's so much people who rushed to get to the 160 wall to the point where when they get there, they're sitting there for months. Right, there's months. They're sitting there for months because one, they're free to play. So you know, as a free to play, you got to know how to use the resources. That's just a fact. But one, they're free to play, and two, because they went crazy, they wanted to rush and try to get to endgame as fast as possible to be with everybody else. They just end up wasting their time. Now, honestly, in this game, the 160 wall shouldn't be a thing because I don't want to say the 160 wall shouldn't be a thing. Like, it could be a thing, but they should probably make it that we're guaranteed to pass the 160 wall, right? Unless you have 5 characters, 3-star, 5 SSR characters, 3-star, you're not going to be able to pass the 160 wall, and you're not going to be able to progress completely. You literally need to have all 5 to progress past that point. So if you don't, then you're going to be stuck. And then obviously, let's say there's a lot of new content and stuff like that, and especially, for example, Liberation is a great example, right? You had to have been in the 2031 chapter in order to unlock Nihilister, for example. People who are stuck at the 160 wall is not doing that. They're not. So, you know, free to play just got to slow down, and that's just a take that still goes and runs around this till this day. It's very relevant till this day. Let me see. Okay. Tommy, you don't know the game without telling me you don't know the game. Okay. Ludmilla is bugged, so your hot take is just the lack of game knowledge. Okay, so I said that already. If you disagree, your takes are truly fire. Pilgrims are the worst faction in the game, and Scarlet is out damaged by Ludmilla on almost every stage. Okay, they're just memeing. Now they're just memeing. Oh my god, that just makes me. Oh my god, bro. Let me keep going. Let me see if I can find like a real one, because these ones are kind of just like sarcastic ones towards this final take here, like this one right here. Here's a magma take for y'all. I want to dodge harem scenarios because okay, I'm good off that. I'm good off that too. Okay, well. Yeah, I guess these are really the only hot takes that were here, right? I mean, there's 16 comments. And this was pretty funny, though. I want to see if, like, maybe I can find more of this in the future, right? Like, other hot takes, right? And we're definitely going to do, like, revamp of hot takes now. Not, like, today, but soon, right? But these were some, you know, crazy... Some of these were, you know, crazy takes back then. Some of these were actually takes that still hold up to today, right? I think, well, not this person's take, but I think this person's take, we're rushing to the 160 wall, basically, still holds up to this day. I think, like, this wasn't, I mean, it was a hot take and it wasn't, people just didn't really know about, what's it called? People just didn't really know about shields like that. And then again, the Ludmilla thing, she was bugged. That's probably why they were saying Ludmilla was overrated. She was just bugged, right? But if you actually read her kit, I don't think she was overrated back then, though. Even if she wasn't bugged, I think she was doing her job well in just general content, but it was like kind of a waste. Because enemies weren't doing that much damage to you in story regardless, so it was just a waste of a slot, realistically. She's not performing damage, so because of that, it was just a waste of a slot. But now, obviously, with someone like Sakura, Ludmilla has so much value for just the train alone. A lot of people compete the train now because it's just the Sakura Ludmilla comp, where with both of the damage reduction, she takes no damage. So you guys let me know what you think. If you guys want to share some of your hot takes, definitely share them down below. But yeah, I mean, these were, you know, some takes that hold up till today, some just don't. But you guys let me know what you think. It's your boy Zxous. I'm out. Peace.